Hey everyone, my name is Candace and it's a Friday night and I'm sitting here doing a list of pros and cons for which type of breast implant I'm going to pick for my July 8th surgery coming up. And I want to go through the whole realm of this situation. So at first I looked at fat transfers where they take fat, literally clean it and then transfer it back into your boobs or whatever part. Some people get like butt lifts or BBLs from it, but they also can do it for your breasts. And I thought, yay, that's super natural. I just need like a little fullness and plumpness since, with weight loss comes a lot of loss with your breast, and I also breastfed. So it's like a double whammy for me. And when I had my virtual consults, I was told I wasn't a good candidate because my breasts were too low and it doesn't lift your breast. The procedure starts at $6,500. You only get a half a cup size to a cup size at most of fullness, and then you can expect a 30 to 60% reduction in size over the next 6 months. So that's a lot of gambling, and it doesn't fix my droopy breast, and it just doesn't do what I needed to do. So then I thought, well, there's other procedures. There is this one called a perky lift where they can lift your boobs with electrodes, and it takes about 6 months, but it does look really good if you're a good candidate. And then there's another one called Brava, which is an enlargement pump. When I did a consult for the Brava, I was told that once again, I wasn't a good candidate because I actually need a lift higher than what the machine would allow, and that the results are not long lasting and permanent, and it is another hefty price tag of about $6,500 to $8,000. So, and with the perky lift, I didn't even get a price. I was just automatically not a good candidate based upon the needs of my breast need to be lifted and the need for fullness within my breast once they're lifted. So I was left with some different options. I was left with saline, silicone, gummy bear, all these different types of implants. And before I made a decision on what I wanted to use, I wanted to do a lot of research. I have heard of groups of breast illness or breast implants illness, BII, where women get breast implants and then they don't feel well. They're tired, lethargic, headachy, sick, bowel issues, and then they have to get them removed, and they create a forum so that other women are aware that if this is a procedure that you're choosing to get, that could be a possible side effect. When I was researching breast implant illness, it seemed a majority of the cases, to me, and by talking to doctors, were from silicone implants, and fewer, even though it happens with both implants, were with saline. So I go to the doctors, I do these virtual appointments, I go to doctors' offices that allow during COVID and do all my precautionary procedures, and every single doctor told me that the preferred choice for most women is silicone implants because they look more natural. With saline, depending on the thickness of your skin and how they settle, eventually you can get this rippling effect, which is very unnatural looking from the saline bag. So you can actually see it depending on how thick your breast tissue is. And I have thin breast tissue. So saline was not looking like a good option for me. And silicone, you can have what's called these small leaks or silent ruptures. And so because it comes out so slowly, you don't know that it's rupturing. So they ask if you get a silicone implant that you get an MRI every 2 years just for your own health and safety, which is another extra expense because my insurance company would not cover getting an MRI every 2 years for these silent ruptures. I also read online that implants are only supposed to last about 10 years, and every 10 years you're supposed to get them replaced, and I was not really game to have surgery every 10 years to replace implants. it's been told to me by doctors that the procedure the second time is quicker and an easier recovery because the breast pocket's already created. So typically it's not as difficult or as harsh as a surgery, but still that's signing up for a lot of expense and future everything. And I just was just like, oh my gosh. Talking to different doctors, every doctor has told me that implants definitely, they cannot say they will last up to, years and years, 20, 25, 15. So that's can reduce my anxiety about having to go 7 to 10 years, every 7 to 10 years to have my breast implants replaced. Also, they had cautioned me that there is something called capsular contraction, and showed me pictures, and breasts were just high and not looking natural, and just it looked very awkward to me, and I'm scared to death of something like that happening. Some of the reasonings given to me were that the breast pocket wasn't released correctly, that the breast implant was too big for the actual pocket, that they exercise and other strenuous activity was done too quickly, bras, the support bras wasn't worn long enough, that activity with like sexual activity on your breast was done too soon, and infection can occur like that. So I decided to go with a breast lift and implants, and a small implant just to look natural. And I also decided to go with a saline implant. However, I'm going with an ideal implant. And those implants are filled with silicone, but they're pre-filled, more like, or they're filled with saline, but they're pre-filled, and they're done in layers. So you don't have to, so they look and hold more like a silicone breast implant. I'm hoping that they look wonderful, they're a little safer, that I don't go through breast implants illness, that I don't have capsular contraction, that I don't get an infection, that my nipple doesn't die, that all these crazy things I was reading online don't happen. I picked a very prestigious doctor that was referred to me by 2 other doctors, so I feel comfortable in my decision with my doctor. And I cannot wait to get this surgery over with. I just am so ready to get it over with, and for me to be comfortable within my own skin. So, anywho, we'll update you after my surgery July 8th.